A lot of buzz about the Suns draft, and Wolf, a lot of it really hit another level last night when they traded up to the first pick of the second round and were able to get Rasheer Fleming out of St. Joseph's. Joining us on the Arizona Sports Line right now is the founder and editor-in-chief of City of Basketball Love in Philly, Josh Verlin, a guy who has covered Rasheer Fleming for a while now. He can give us some insight on what to expect from him. Josh, thank you so much for the time. How are you doing?
I'm great, guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
There's a lot of excitement here. I know there's a lot of buzz around the league, teams trying to move up to get Rasheer last night. The Suns were able to do it, though, and it's really kind of sparked the fan base here. Well, what can you tell us about Rasheer just in terms of what he's really good at that the Suns are getting?
Yeah, I think he's just a modern, four-man, with a chance to be like a 3-4, down the road. I mean, he's a kid. He's a Camden, New Jersey high school native. I've seen him since his sophomore year in high school up through, his 3 years at St. Joseph's. And I think the biggest thing that he brings is just versatility and good size and athleticism. I mean, he's 6'9", he's physical, but he can really stretch the floor. His shooting has improved tremendously over the years. He can put the ball on the floor now. He's that kind of mismatch four-man that you like to see at the next level, and I really like the steps that he's taken to improve his game, really since I've seen him play, but especially since he got to St. Joseph.
Josh, are you telling me you've seen this kid from high school as a sophomore?
Yeah, so I've been covering the Philadelphia area, high school and college for 14 years. So,
okay.
A lot of quite a few of the players in the draft. I mean, Dylan Harper I saw as a freshman at Don Bosco Prep, and I've seen a lot of Rasheer's growth and development as a player. I mean, he's grown a couple inches during that time, but really his skill set has improved tremendously. He was sort of a high energy 6'7" forward when I first saw him, and now he's a really skilled, like I said, more of a four-man, especially I think early on in the NBA. But St. Joe's was using him a little bit at the three, and he was finding success, especially as his college career went on. At being able to play with the ball in his hands.
Josh, do you have any idea how he has grown personally as a person?
I've always had great dealings with Rasheer. He's always been good to talk to. He's always had a good mind about the game. He certainly has matured in college, but I think that applies to 95% of kids that we cover these days.
Yeah.
Come a long way from the time you're 18 to when you're 21. But no, that's never really been a concern of mine with him. I thought he's always had a mature head on his shoulders, and I think he really, especially, again, his sophomore and junior year at St. Joseph's, especially blossomed there, yeah.
Would you call him a dog?
Yes. I don't know what you guys know about Camden, New Jersey, but that's one of, the big-name programs in the region. DJ Wagner went there, and they've had, and his father, and they've just had talent over the decades. I mean, back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, Camden they call it the high for a reason. So you don't play for Camden if you're not a dog, that doesn't compute. Yeah.
We're talking to Josh Verlin, founder and editor-in-chief of City of Basketball Love in Philly. Josh, sort of along those lines, Rasheer had a couple good quotes even just after getting drafted last night, stressing the importance to him of playing with effort. He certainly looked like that sort of player as well at St. Joseph's, but what can you tell us about him just as a pure effort guy?
Oh yeah, you're not playing for Camden unless you're diving on the ball, you're diving on the floor, and throwing your body all over the place and giving maximum effort, and certainly, and that was never an issue for him at St. Joseph's. He plays hard, he plays physical. He doesn't mind sticking his nose in there on the glass and blocking shots. He does all of those things very well. Again, because now he's making the jump from the Atlantic 10 to the NBA. I'm curious to see if he can still do all of those things at a similar level, because now he won't be the most physical player on the court in some of the games, which he was at the college level. But I certainly think that's not a worry with him, and I expect he will continue to grow his physicality, with a professional weightlifting program and all of that.
Yeah, Josh, what was the best thing that Rasheer did in college? What was the best skill that he had?
I think it is his versatility, and I know that's kind of a fallback answer, but it was his ability to, if he was put on a bigger, slower guy, to take them outside or to drive on them, or if he was put on a smaller guy to bring him into the post and score around the bucket, or to be a passer, to be a facilitator if his shots weren't there for him on any given night. So I do think it's that ability to be a mismatch, versatile guy, and his outside shooting. I mean, his shooting really came along. He when he gets his feet set, he's pretty much a knockdown guy from all around the arc. So that definitely is a strong point of his game, no doubt. But I think at the next level, his versatility is going to help him get on the court earlier.
Josh, the only thing I've really been able to find as far as a negative on him is maybe as a ball handler, but I mean the Suns aren't going to need him to ever do that. Were there any weaknesses in his game, even if he's cleaned them up over the years that you've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I think he's not going to, break a guy down one-on-one off the dribble for sure. When I would say he had the ability to put the ball on the floor, that was more, off a rip, or, if there was a guy that was slow to rotate, he could do a straight line drive to the bucket. But yes, he's certainly not going to be, crossing guys over and throwing down spin moves and trying to, create for himself. I don't think it's impossible to think that he could be decent at that a few years down the road, but certainly at the moment, that's not something you're going to look for him to do. You're going to look for him to, spot up, shoot threes, crash the glass, defend at a high level, bring that energy, and then I think you'll see the skill things start to develop throughout, years 2 and 3.
Well, Josh, we really appreciate the insight, man. Thank you so much for the time.
Josh.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Have a great one.
All right, you too. That's Josh Verlin, founder and editor-in-chief of City of Basketball Love in Philly. How about that? He's covered Rasheer Fleming since high school, since sophomore year. So he's probably the guy that knows more about Rasheer Fleming right now than anybody except Rasheer Fleming himself.
You know what's amazing about it? This scouting report I was looking at, impressive physical skills. It says defensive versatility. Shooting ability is definitely there. He's long. He's got a high motor. He's got a 7'5" wingspan. Think about that.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, that's huge. Excelling in both on the ball and off the ball defense. Strong finisher, an efficient shooter as well. This is I love to see dogs do well. And this guy's got a dog mentality, and I think it's one of the reasons why. That's right, Brian Gregory and the Phoenix
just
Suns.
ruined it with this song.
They did. I think it's one of the reasons why they identified this is our guy. They want to build around this guy using him as well. Our culture is going to be about Rasheer Fleming. Now, I'm saying that, Basinonians, is a gross exaggeration. But they did target him, didn't they? They identified him, and they went after him. Why?
You look at these guys they drafted, and in a really, if things play out, this isn't even like the perfect world, but a pretty good scenario. If these guys reach their ceilings, you can see Malwatch being an anchor in the middle for a while. Koby Brea is interesting. I know they don't need shooting guards, but you heard Kevin Pelton when we asked him. He said he might be the best shooter in this class, and they got him at 41. If you have a guy that's already an NBA three-point shooter and you're able to draft him in the middle of the second round, but Fleming in particular feels like the guy where if he plays to his potential is going to be this, like you're going to see Fleming jerseys at Suns games. Again, if he plays to his potential. I know right now he's a second-round pick, but just the style of game he plays, if he can play to his potential and stick around and be an impact player, it seems like he's going to be a fan favorite when he's doing it. So this hasn't been fun. The Suns haven't been fun for a few months. This is some actual genuine excitement around the city for them now.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.